As Eugene said, the program actually was Dust to Dust, but I realized that the speech was a little bit shorter, so I decided to cut it in half, so it's just focusing on the first part, which is dust. So anyway, on the 7th of February in 2008, a series of explosions devastated a sugar refinery in Port Wentworth in Georgia. This explosion claimed the lives of 14 people and critically injured 36 others. Now, those of you who read this report will know that the reason for this was a buildup of dust. A buildup which happened over time in a fairly small space. It was known to management, ignored, with critical consequences. So when I read this report, I got seriously worried about the dust buildup in our house, particularly during our current renovations. We lifted floorboards and found dust 200 years old. Do you realize that's 2,400 months, 10,400 weeks, 73,000 days. We've opened fireplaces and we have found and been covered in a cloud of dust of grayish, green, grimy grit, dating back to approximately the 17th of October, 1952 at 3:45 in the afternoon, when they were last spent at a cost of £3.02, VAT excluded because that was to be introduced. Tackling the problem of dust buildup has required a methodical, organized, structured approach. So when I see a buildup of dust in a relatively small area, a buildup of say over 1/8 of a cubic inch, that's about the size of an oxycube, I found that a small brush and a dustpan is quite effective for dealing with buildup. If the buildup happens over a large area, such as this room here, a long-handled broom works well. And I use this broom to sweep the dust into a small area where it ends up being more than 1/8 of a cubic inch in volume, and then I can dispatch with it using the method I just described. Windows, great for attracting dust, and many people just ignore that. Not me. Other people grab chemical products like window cleaner or whatever. That's not me either. No, my grandmother swore by the use of snaps. Neat. That's neat. And the advantage of snaps is that whilst you're cleaning the windows, you can sustain yourself as well. You might think that that's all the dust being done, but not so quick. What about the windowsills? The fireplaces? Shelves? Skirting boards? When I see dust on those surfaces, I spring into action with my yellow duster and I wipe all the surfaces off. And the yellow duster comes with its own early warning system. It warns you that there is a buildup of dust. And if you see this buildup, shake it off, because otherwise you end up redistributing the dust rather than removing it. You might think the job is done. Not at all. What about the lamps? What about general knickknacks? Well, those are best dealt with a feather duster. And I have to admit that a feather duster is really more about redistributing the dust than actually removing it. You will have noticed that I haven't spoken about cobwebs, dog hairs, dead insects, mouse droppings. And the reason is, this is a talk about dust, not cleaning again. So, moving on to the next and final stage is the vacuum. And I don't know if it's because of the extracting of the cord, plugging it into the wall, or starting the vacuum cleaner, but the extreme technical complexity of operating this piece of machinery puts it squarely in the domain of the man. And this is where I come in. When I see a room like this, what I like to do is survey the situation and see where I should attack it first. And generally I like to start with the brushes out. So brushes out, vacuum cleaner on, and start along the edges of the room. Once done, switch the vacuum cleaner off, move the furniture off the rocks in the center to the edge of the room, take the vacuum cleaner, retract the brushes, switch it on, and clean the rug. Switch it off, move the furniture back onto the rug. Switch off. So you can see with this very methodical, organized, structured approach to cleaning, dust is pretty much subjugated in our household. And we are not going to have 14 people dying in a dust explosion in our house anytime soon.